You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the Interactive Interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com. Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. Joining us on the Newsmaker line right now is a former NWA World Tag Team Champion who will be taking part in the epic Crockett Cup coming up on June 3rd and 4th, just a few days away now. He is ranked, I believe, 10th in the seeds, and he is J.R. Kratos. Are you with me, sir?
Yes, sir. What's up, man? Thank you for having me, bro.
It's a pleasure to have you on. I'm a big fan of your work because you're different than a lot of the guys that have come around over the past, 5-10 years, because you're a big guy. That seems to be the difference. Is a lot of wrestling seems to have gone in the direction of small, but you are definitely not small. You're a big guy. Is that a positive or a negative for you in the modern landscape of professional wrestling?
No, I mean, he definitely has evolved into a little guy, a spectacle, I would say. But no, man, for me, it works in my favor because I don't have to do the flips and do all that stuff. You know what I mean?
I think I heard you say in the past, though, you wanted to do that kind of stuff initially, though, right?
I did. And at first, of course, when you start, you want to do all the cool stuff and jump out the ring and do everything. But, as you evolve, as you get more educated in the business, it just, you develop your character, you start playing towards that. And, my character, I'll do it every once in a while, but, I'm not going to be doing it every week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we will get to Crockett Cup. I promise I did that in the intro, but let's introduce people to you. You came around in professional wrestling a little bit later than some, a little bit DDP-esque in that you came around in the ring, maybe a little bit later than a lot of guys. What attracted you to the world of professional wrestling, and were you a fan of it before you kind of found that flyer and kind of got sucked into the wrestling world?
Oh, absolutely, man. My dad, I always go back to this story. My dad used to work security at the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
Oh, so, wow.
I used to go to all the wrestling events, man, and I made up my mind, that's what I wanted to do. And, when I saw Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango Russell, I remember looking at my dad and I was like, I want to do this. And, just life took its course. And then, I've been a fan since I was a kid, and an opportunity arose for me here in Sacramento. And, man, it's been one hell of a ride since.
Absolutely. And that's awesome. Let's see. So your tag team partner, when you were the NWA World Tag Team Champion, is a former WWE star. He was Damian Sandow then. He's Aaron Stevens, as we know him now. That seemed to come pretty quick when you're in your tenure with the NWA. Did you enjoy that tag team role with Aaron, and did you learn a lot by having such a veteran at your side that early on?
Man, I mean, we could do a whole episode just on that, dude. Yeah, man. I can't even begin to thank that man for so much. Just to pull the curtain back a little bit, and just to be completely honest, that dude has helped my career tremendously. He is such man, he's just so smart to the business, psychology-wise, character development, storylines, the way he puts together matches, the way he dissects things and makes you understand, why you're doing things in the ring. It's like that dude is like the wrestling gift. You know what I mean? That guy's so smart when it comes to this business. I mean, anybody that has a chance to just sit down and talk to him, you will definitely walk away a better wrestler. It's amazing. Like, the dude is, just like William Regal has gave him props before. Like, that's one of the guys that, unfortunately got away. It's that dude's psychology and mind for the business is truly one of the best to me. And to be in the ring with him and share the ring and do things that I learned with him, it was career changing for me.
That seems to be the biggest compliment a lot of people give, a lot of the NWA talent give to the backstage area, that you have such great minds back there that are all there to help. You got Pat Kenny and, the great Ricky Morton, who's in the tournament. I shouldn't mention that, but he's in the tournament, the Crockett Cup.
Yeah,
Medusa for the girls is there. There's so many great minds and names that have been there and done that can really shed some light to the guys who are learning.
Yeah, that's another one for me too. Was Medusa. Obviously, I knew who she was, but I never had the opportunity to interact with her. And just her backstage, again, her psychology, her approach to things, I really like, because it's mean. It's she conveys realism so well. So to be able to talk to her and get her little pointers and understand that you don't need all the bullshit or the gaga, just go out there and be you. It's reassuring, man, and it's again, it just helps you develop into a better wrestler, being around people like that, that been there, done that. That's the thing about NWA too, man. It's so cool because you got so much knowledge backstage, and they're just so willing to just sit down and talk with you and make you better. You know what I mean? And it's a great locker room.
Very good. And you came on strong during perhaps one of the most awkward times in wrestling history. And that, of course, is the pandemic, which I think we're all glad we can kind of look at in the rearview mirror now.
Absolutely.
Was it difficult to go out there and, really be making a name for yourself, but not have that crowd in the audience? And to do that on New Japan Strong, and to do that in the NWA where there's just nobody there to play off of?
Yeah, things hurt a lot more when you don't have the energy from the crowd. You can't feed off that. But again, man, it was a learning experience. You know what I mean? And again, we tried to all look at the positive. Like, we still get to do what we love. It's just unfortunate that we don't have that feedback from the crowd and get the energy back. But to be able to deliver something to the fans still was a definite positive for us. But yeah, man, it was very, very different to go out there in just a quiet setting, and the only guys are the TV camera producer guys. It was just like, wow, it was different. But again, it was good that we had platforms to do it on. But yeah, man, I've had matches again on New Japan Strong that I was just like, damn, man, I wish this was a full arena,
Absolutely.
But it is what it is.
And you're tagged with a guy I really got along with well when he was working with MLW, and that is Tom Lawler. Tom Lawler, the filthy Tom Lawler. He is a really interesting but a really cool guy. How did you enjoy working with him in New Japan?
Oh, God. And that guy turned out to be such a solid friend as well, but him as an entertainer, Jesus. I mean, what needs to be said, man? Tom is Tom, and he's the best, dude. You know what I mean? Again, like, I've been very fortunate to be around great, wrestlers. And Tom was, I love him, man, because in reality, he's such a dangerous dude, but, just him as a person is he's so humble, funny, fun to be around, crazy as hell, and he's a great wrestler as well. His psychology, it definitely, you could tell he knows his character because he plays to who he is, and he doesn't steer away from that, which I admire a lot. And, he's doing really, really well, obviously. And the dude is just a joy to be around again, another giving guy that would sit down and tell you things, and, just a real kick-ass person, man, all the way around.
Very cool. And it's such a weird time still for wrestling, even post-pandemic, where now you could see companies that you never would have seen work together before working together. Forbidden doors are open, as they say. And you did that WrestleMania weekend with New Japan Pro Wrestling as well as Impact Wrestling. Was that a cool experience to have all these different companies kind of holding hands and putting on a show together?
Yeah, see, that's another thing too, man. We're like, as the wrestlers, we're just, people are able to put things aside and do things for the positive, for the better, and working with companies and stuff like that. When I had the opportunity to work with Impact, which was always a goal of mine, it was awesome, man. I got to see guys that I looked up to and, knew personally, and, and had the joy to actually share the ring with, you know what I mean? I never met PCO ever, and I've only watched him and seen him in shows, and I mean, that was a lot of fun, dude. I look forward to hopefully doing it again. And just the Impact locker room itself, it was cool, man. It's just cool to see everybody come together and put on a show for the fans.
All right, but the company we're here to promote right now is the NWA, and of course the NWA is owned by the Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan himself, William Corgan. What is your thoughts on his vision for professional wrestling and really delivering a show that, for somebody like me, I'll let you in on something. I'm 41. I'll be 42 in a couple months. I grew up watching that stuff, 6:05 at night on Saturdays, and seeing the way the NWA was once upon a time, and I get a little bit of that. It's definitely evolved, but I get a little bit of that when I watch the NWA now.
Yeah. Again, man, we could do a whole one on Billy too. Billy is a very, very passionate boss, I would say. But that's what's cool as a talent, to see him and what his story, just alongside of this, just to hear his story of the Smashing Pumpkins, how they started, how his drive, his passion was to be one of the best bands and best musicians in the world. And just to hear that struggle, that grind into what they are now, and then to see him perform in front of thousands of people, I was like, this all happened because he believed in himself. They believed in each other, you know what I mean? And they did that. So to hear him talk about wrestling and his knowledge for wrestling and his vision for the NWA, it's an honor. And it's a lot of fun to be a part of, because you know that it's going to get better, man. And then just the motivation backstage for the talent to deliver as well is there too. His whole vision for the NWA is definitely a realism. It could be there, and it's going to be there, but it's just cool to have a guy like that in the driver's seat. You know what I mean? And you're able to see, okay, he's not just blowing smoke up our ass because he's done it before, and just the strategic, calculated moves he has for this company to get there. It's pretty cool, man. It's really cool to see. And again, like, his passion for wrestling is crazy. So,
mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about it.
Absolutely, me too. And the Crockett Cup harkens back to that. That's something from the mid-'80s that has been brought back to life in the past couple of years. And, of course, you're part of it this year. And your partner is going to be Odinson. And you guys, I think, pound for pound, are probably the biggest guys in the tournament. What's your thoughts heading into the events?
Oh, spoiler alert, man, we win. I mean, it's just, when they put us together, I was like, that's almost like, not talking shit or nothing, but it's almost like unfair, really. Like, we check all the boxes. We check all the boxes, man. Like, who's going to beat us? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, Odinson is a freaking house. The dude moves like he's a lightweight. He's strong as hell, and he looks like $1 million. So it's like, when you put us together, it's like, who can really beat us? I mean, and it's, so it's going to be fun, man. And again, Odinson is a great talent too. Guy's been around for a long time, and obviously he trains hard and looks good. So, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a really cool weekend. And, but we're the dark horse, man. We're going to win it all.
I can't wait to see it. And I got to ask you, if you're a wrestling fan on the internet, you have an opinion on the NWA's World Heavyweight Champion. You either like him or you don't. Maybe it has to do with politics. Maybe it doesn't. I'll tell you flat out, I love him. I'm a big fan of him. I am a guy who watches him on Gutfeld, 5 nights a week, or however many nights he does actually go on there. He's a guy that, again, elicits a response. What's your thoughts on Tyrus, and are you surprised by the fact that he is such a polarizing world champion?
As a wrestler and a talent, I hate him. Mm-hmm. I want to be the champion. But
that's right.
No, man, no. The dude he's a star, man, all the way around. I mean, he's a number one author. He's on Gutfield. He gets millions of views, gets number one viewings all the time. And again, another guy that plays to the psychology of what he looks like and how he is. You know what I mean? He's a huge, huge ass dude. So he carries himself like that in the ring, and he does that. And obviously it's doing well for him because he's our world champ. But, just all around too, he's just a stud, man. Again, one of the guys that is really giving and all that. And I think it was smart because he gets so much attention that, I think it's doing good for the NWA. Obviously, the guy gets millions of views a week. He wears the belt on his shoulder on TV. He carries the product like a professional. You know what I mean? He's proud to be our champion. So, as a fan of him and looking outside, I think it's great. I think he's a good he's a good champion. As a wrestling talent, no, I want to wrestle him and beat him. So
and that could happen, by the way. He is in the Crockett Cup.
Will.
Him and Chris Adonis. There you go. You might cross paths sooner than you think. Do you have any dream opponents? Is there anybody that, I'm thinking, you look at the wrestling landscape right now and you think, you know what, I got to get in the ring with that guy?
Yeah, I have a wish list. One being Tyrus, and then two is just the Japanese guys that I've watched since I was a kid, and studied, and then now to be sharing locker rooms with Suzuki, Tanahashi, those kind of guys for me would be those kind of dream matches. One for me too, man. I don't know why. I think our styles we would put on a hell of a hard hitting ass match. Would be Eddie Kingston.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be good. Yeah, and he's deceptively big too.
Dude, yeah. Like when I finally had the chance to meet him, I'm like, oh man, dude, this would be great. But yeah, because he's again another guy that's just a ring general. When I finally got the chance to meet him and just hear him and how he, again, a guy that's passionate about the business but knows the business. It was like, yeah, he's definitely one of my guys that I would love to get in the ring with. And of course, the top guys, Okada and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah. I'm just going to keep trucking away, man. And I don't think that's far out of my sight. And I don't think that that's not going to happen. So it's, I'm looking forward to everything, man. And all the companies that I'm working for, I'm grateful and working hard, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I got two layup questions here for you. The first one is going to be final thoughts as we head into Crockett Cup.
Oh, like I said, man, 100%. I don't think there's anybody out there that could beat us. I mean, I think there's tough seeds, obviously. You got Trevor, you got Knox, you got Tyrus, you got Masters, you got all those guys like that. But I mean, on paper, man, there's a few that maybe check the boxes with us, but physically and in the ring and athletically and strength wise and everything, I don't think there's anybody that could beat us.
All right. And the final one's kind of a silly one because I mentioned who I was interviewing and my kids are like, oh, I know him from the video game. And it took me a second and they're talking about God of War. Which came first, the name or the game?
The name, dude. Like, so when I was training to become a pro wrestler, it was out here at a school called Supreme Pro Wrestling in Sacramento. And they were like, dude, you're built and look like this game character named Kratos. And honestly, man, it's an ongoing joke. I had no idea who he was. Like, I don't play video games, so I didn't know. And I was like, who the hell is that? And they were like, yeah, dude, it's a God of War. And they pulled it up on the internet, and I saw him, and I was like, ooh, that dude looks pretty badass. So it kind of just stuck from there, man. But I got away from the God of War and then made up my own thing as I progressed as a character in professional wrestling. But Kratos stuck, and yeah, so it was definitely the name, not the game.
Up until 2 hours ago, I didn't know who the character from the game was either, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. There you go.
Right.
There you go. All right. Well, before I let you go, do you mind if I ask for one last favor from you?
No, what's up, man?
You know what I'm probably going to ask. Do you mind if I get for a station ID just saying this is Kratos and you're listening to Wrestling Epicenter?
No, let's do it.
All right. Do you want me to do the whole Wayne's World countdown thingy?
No, just tell me when to go. When is what is it? Russell's Zone?
Wrestling Epicenter. Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter.
That's it.
All right.
And you can go whenever you like.
This is the most feared JR Kratos, and you are listening to Wrestling Epicenter.
This is Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Oh, for Rush.
Featuring the interactive interview.
Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Formerly The Blaze.
The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze Rock.
You a maniac, so what you gonna do when the Blaze of Mania runs wild on you?
On WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling
Epicenter. Wrestling
Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
And now we shamelessly name drop from our history.
The Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
All right, everybody. Viva la raza. Viva la raza.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, ladies.
Hey guys, we had a lovely conversation. First lady, absolutely. Oh, look at me. She's so kooky.
Be there. Where else?
Interactive Wrestling Radio. Wrestling
Epicenter.
Oh my God! You win! Wow, being interactive.
Whoa! I just got some listen. I was gonna shoot him. Yeah, I almost pissed my pants. Breaking neck. I got 2 words for you. I've heard a lot about you guys. I see my language. You're gonna go to the shop. I see him now. We're into the many.
No nerves.
That was great. It's gonna be cool. Woo! What it's all about. The purest point of view. The living legend. Champion. Arrogant.
You just make me.
Instead of saying when I'm talking to you, charisma.
So lonely without you.
In the land of extreme.
Testify. Nevermore. Interactive. Interview. I'm not just the best. Interactive. Interview with a plastic
You
head.
earned the right.
Nobody. You better keep listening. Thank you very much. Controversy creates cash. Professional wrestling.
Made in the USA, baby.
Memphis wrestling. The guy on fire.
I'm not bad. We were sexy.
What a show.
One and only.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Wrestling
Epicenter. Interactive interview. We took care of the business and ballet. We are huge. You're where it's at. You better recognize who's the best. If you're smart, make sure you tune in each and every week. I'll come out of your computer, knock down your door, and turn it on for you. Or else I'm going to kick your stinking teeth in. And that's the bottom line. Have a nice day. It's showtime.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.